Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Rosa Elena Espinosa.
Good afternoon, my name is Rosa Espinosa.
Estuve en la Junta de Supervisores el día de hoy
I was at the County Board of Supervisors meeting today,
y escuché y tomé nota de los recortes que van a hacer.
and I took note of all the budget cuts that they are considering.
Me opongo a que continúen atacando a los homeless.
I am opposed to the cuts and changes that they're doing to the homeless.
He mencionado que estas personas son seres humanos,
I have mentioned that these individuals are also human beings.
no son cucarachas,
They are not cockroaches.
no son ratas.
They are not rats.
Escuché también que van a sprayar.
I also heard that they are going to spray.
Me opongo a los pesticidas
I am opposed to pesticides,
y voy a decirles por qué.
and I'm going to tell you why.
En mayo de 1998,
On May of 1998,
yo trabajaba en la compañía Sandoval Brothers
I worked for Saltavan Brothers,
y una avioneta se introdujo a fumigarnos.
and a firm introduced and started fumigating.
Nos quitamos la gorra, todos nuestros chamarras, lo que llevábamos para decirles que parara.
We took our hats and everything, all our the clothing and hats and jackets that we were wearing to tell them to stop.
En esa fecha yo estaba embarazada de Daniel Hernández Espinosa.
On that date, I was pregnant with Daniel Hernandez Espinosa.
Tenía 3 o 4 meses.
I was about 3 to 4 months pregnant,
Se me tuvo que transportar de emergencia al Hospital Memorial
so I had to be transferred to the emergency room
para ser evaluada por mi doctor Jacob.
to be evaluated by my doctor.
And I suffered a side effect de los pesticidas.
And that was the side effect of the pesticides.
Gracias a Dios mi hijo nació bien.
Thank God my child was born healthy.
Me opongo a que sigan usando pesticidas.
I am opposed to the use of
Y
pesticides.
me opongo a cualquier recorte que afecte a cada ciudadano americano, que afecte su salud y su bienestar y su seguridad.
And I am opposed to any cuts or changes to the American citizen and that affects their health.
Ustedes aprobaron la marihuana
Señor Espinosa, sus 2 minutos ya terminaron.
y ahora son las consecuencias.
Thank you. Mr. White, if you're going to speak, walk to the podium and make your speech. Otherwise, you can leave the building, sir. This is a public meeting, and it will not be disrupted by you.
You know, this seems to be part of the pattern of the problem of disappointment, because you folks don't know what's going on. You don't care. You're not interested. You're just here to pass a buck, because those two guys actually run it, the attorney, the manager, the mayor's the mouth, the brain, the muscle. You folks do whatever they please. The department heads, that's how the whole thing rolls. We talked about TAMSI a year ago, closing down with a 30-day drop-dead agreement. Pushed a lot by you, Mr. Mayor. Pushed an awful lot by the Chamber of Commerce and the downtown city center. These businesses, that's who you care about. That's the only people you care about, because why? Tax revenue. They give money. We can discriminate against everybody else because we really don't care. Well, I guess I'll wait for this one. But, you know, the TAMSI thing, the 30-day drop-dead agreement, I had to fire back with doing the shelter. You know, I asked 3 of you, you know, please support me. Oh, yeah, I'll support you. Even you, Mr. Mayor, you lied to me to my face, dude. Why? I don't know. Well, because you never intended to actually support any of that. Red tag me all the same. Are you going to mess with me? No, we're too busy with the budget. I was going to video that. It's amazing. What happens is nothing. And it's wrong. What you're doing is wrong. Everything you vote on to close the shelter here because it's close to downtown, you want to pay $2 million to put it 5 miles away, is wrong. It's wrong. You claim you're broke and you can't take care of your employees. You got to cut them loose, and you don't even take care of the ones you got. That's why you got so many union complaints going on. It's all wrong. You need to do a lot better. And that's why I already said I think we need a whole deck, a whole new deck, a whole new set, a whole brand new council. And guess what? I'm running for mayor.
Nona Childress, I do think that in the interest of fairness and the appearance of fairness, you need to enforce your rules evenly, and that means that may mean an amendment that when an interpreter is needed, the 2-minute limit only applies to the original speaker's actual words.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a sporting event. This is public comment, and when you clap, you're holding up someone from speaking.
Mr. Mayor, if I would, I'd like to make a motion.
Go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion to have the speaker in Spanish go ahead and complete her speech with an extra minute and a half. I'd like to hear what the rest she had to say, if there's a second to that.
Didn't we already give her more time, City Clerk?
She was allotted the 2 original minutes, however, we went over on that. Mayor, at this point, I would defer to you if you do want to allow an additional 2 minutes of speaking time, and I'm okay with that. So.
Okay.
Okay, señora Espinosa, continúe. Le voy a poner 2 minutos aquí. So va a ser, esencialmente va a ser 1 minuto para usted y 1 minuto para la traducción, ¿ok?
Muchas gracias. He sufrido muchas injusticias sociales y no voy a permitir que los ciudadanos americanos sigan sufriéndolas. ¿Por qué?
I have suffered many social injustices and I am not going to allow that to continue.
Ustedes necesitan incorporarse a la sociedad.
You need to incorporate yourselves to the society.
Para los valores, los principios y los morales.
For their values, principles, and morals.
Ustedes aprobaron la legalización de la marihuana.
You approved the legalization of cannabis.
Y recuerda usted, Joe Ganter, cuando aprobó también que todos los negocios podían vender alcohol en discriminatoria venta.
And I also recall you, Mayor Gunter, who approved the ability for all the businesses to sell alcohol.
Y aquí les estamos abriendo las puertas a los traficantes.
And here we are opening the doors to trafficking.
Yo soy sobreviviente del tráfico de humanos y se los he repetido.
I am a survivor of human trafficking, and I have repeated that to you multiple
Viví
times.
casi 5 años con Criminal Mind.
I lived nearly 5 years with Criminal Mind.
Y tengo idea de lo que esto va a suceder.
And I have an idea of what will happen.
Estas personas no son seres criminales.
These individuals are not criminals.
Son solo el reflejo de los problemas sociales que causan los traficantes.
This is a reflection of the social problems that occur due to trafficking.
Los gang members. Todo alrededor de lo que es Criminal Mind.
Everything that surrounds Criminal Mind.
Y ustedes necesitan valorar a estas personas y proveerles los recursos que se necesitan, no cortándoles sus accesos a la salud,
And you need to value the services that are needed by these individuals
a la
here
educación,
by not rejecting, eliminating the services that they need in their education.
y oportunidades de incorporarse al sector laboral.
And the ability for them to incorporate into the labor sector.
He cumplido. Creo que cumplí mis 2 minutos.
Good evening. My name's Lucky McDonald. I've been an RVer for over 20 plus years. I'm on a fixed income. I'm 68 years old. RV parks are visible, but they are not taking anything under 2008, 10 years. Anything under 2008, they will not take you. I offered them $150. They said no. So we're stuck. There's an RV over in Del Monte. There's one there. There's 2 or 3 in Moss Landing. They will not take anything under 2028. So we're stuck. On a fixed income, we can't rent anything. Even if I try to rent a room, they tell you to fill out an application, drop it off to us. I call them back. Sorry, we rented it out. So what are we going to do? Stay on the streets? If you put us on the streets, you're going to have more people on the streets. You're going to have more problems. Yeah, all these motorhomes that you guys are saying that they have sewage, registration, they should be told. California state law says you have to have driver's license, insurance, proof of registration. If you don't have it, tow it. Half of these motorhomes in this area, I've been here for almost 20 years or more, and half of these motorhomes don't have registration. They don't even have tail lights. I can tell you a couple of them on Griffin and over on the truck stop. There's a motorhome or a truck stop. The lady don't even have, only has reverse. She can't move the motorhome. She's on a fixed income with Social Security. She's stuck. There's women here that's got kids. Okay, if you take that away from them, you're going to put them on the street. You can't get a place to rent. I'm on a fixed income. I've tried to rent a place to get rid of my motor. By the time you put an application in and call them back,
I'm going to ask the audience to let the gentleman speak
it's taken.
because
So we tried every effort we can.
you'll have your turn.
But they should tow these motorhomes that are sewer, that are no license plates, no tail license, no nothing. Everybody knows that. Well, tow it. Highway Patrol sees it, they'll tow you.
Thank you, sir. Your 2 minutes.
Sure to tell you tow it.
So I have a question about the big vehicles. Can they come into the neighborhood and park for a limited amount of time? So for instance, in our neighborhood, we have these that bring the ag workers to the houses. And it's like 12 people living in a house, and they're towing the porta potties behind them. They're coming into the neighborhood to pick up the ag workers. And they'll park there for a period of time. Is that legal under this ordinance?
We're going to have Mr. Callahan answer those questions when we get everybody's comments done. So your answers will be given on that. He's writing them down as we speak.
Okay, so I have to wait. And then
That'll be a few minutes.
And it seems that this is kind of targeting the motorhomes and people that's where they live, that's their home, and a lot of low-income folks. So I don't hear any solution to, well, is there a place that the city has that can let these motorhomes park temporarily for a limited amount of time? Say, and then I'm also wondering, is the way to vet the person if they're local? So if you have a place where people can park their motorhomes, or they're homeless, that they don't have their motorhome, but they're local people, and it could be the working poor. I hate to use that term. They're working, they can't afford to, even people with middle income can't afford to live here and get a place to rent. And there's none available lots of times. So this is what they have. So why aren't we providing a space for them to go with this, if they're local people and they're from here, vetting them that they're from here and giving them a place to go with these homes, and maybe for a limited amount of time?
Good evening. Name is Eric Peterson, and I have two different perspectives on this. First of all, I've got a mid-sized RV, and it's a whole lot easier for me and perfectly legal under current Salinas code for me to park that RV, load it in the evening, leave it in front of my home overnight, take off in the morning. That's convenience, but that's one night is allowed under the current ordinance for my mid-sized RV. But this is a lot more than convenience. This is pretty obviously another step in the Salinas war against the homeless. And that gets into a lot of things. Under the budget presentation, one of the items was we wasted $5 million in 4 years on non-solutions to our problem. Why don't we work towards solutions? The supervisors finally got the message not too long ago. They're working very feebly in the direction of some solutions. We've got a homeless problem. It's not that hard to fix. The key thing is deciding you want to fix the problem. As I mentioned earlier, we're dealing with real people here. Michael Coleman was a real person. He was a nice guy. Another formerly homeless person Mayor Gunter may have met was my friend Joanne. She sure knows him. She had some problems, made some mistakes, got in rehab, and is now a clean, productive person. She was one who had other issues. Oh, we got another discussion over there. Oh well. Why don't we spend our money, instead of squandering it on, what Einstein said was insanity, why don't we take that money and move towards fixing the problem? Once you decide to do it, it's not going to be that difficult. Thank you.
I have to agree with the people before me that I know you said this is not specifically a homeless issue, but it is, because there are people who can't afford rent, as was already said. My husband works in Santa Clara. Because we can't afford to live there, we live here, but they just raised our rent and we're paying $2,300 a month for a stupid apartment. Like, this is not sustainable for the people that live here. So one solution, okay, let's work on rent control. okay? If you're gonna kick people out of their parking spaces, because that's the only place they have to live, what alternative is there? Where do you want them to go? You can't just tell people, no, you can't do this, make it illegal, and have them just go away because they still exist there. They need to go somewhere. There are plenty of empty buildings in Salinas. Let the community take them over and we'll house ourselves. We'll figure something out. Wes White tried to have some housing, some shelter provided, and there were, building codes that weren't met? Are you freaking serious? Like, those building codes are making this building unsafe, but sleeping outside and not having a home is more safe than these these building codes? Come on, like, let the people fix things. Let's see. Oh, and a couple of comments that you said, Mr. Callahan. Drive something else. That is an extremely privileged thing to say, and I appreciate that. That's one solution to parking, I don't know, getting from point A to point B. But a lot of people have no other choice, which is usually why they're living the way they do.
Hi, my name is Rosa, and I understand what everything do you say. Because I is an old student in college, and I always graduated a certificate degree in business administration, and I was homeless for 9 years. I had an own experience about what these people suffer. I prefer to Miss Patricia translate me, please.
You're going to do all your comments in Spanish?
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and reset the timer to 2 minutes since you've already, 3 minutes, and you've exhausted 1 full minute.
Okay.
Maybe 4.
Sufrí 9 años de experiencia como homeless.
I have suffered many years and experienced homelessness.
Soy estudiante del Colegio Harnell.
I am a student at Hartnell College.
Los shelters me han vestido, me han calzado y me han dado de comer.
¿Los qué?
Los shelters,
The sheriffs?
los shelters.
Oh, the shelters. She's been at shelters and have...
Me han vestido, me han dado de comer.
They've clothed her, they've fed her, and
Soy escritora.
I'm a writer.
Soy poeta.
I am a poet.
No soy criminal.
I am not a criminal.
Este es mi primer libro que yo compuse,
This
que
is the-
creé.
This
Y
is
es
the
un
first
regalo
book.
para Salinas.
This is the first book that I wrote, and it's a gift to the city.
Cuando yo estuve en condición mental muy grave,
When I was in very grave conditions,
al borde de la muerte.
in the verge of death.
Estás hablando con una persona que estuvo al pie de la muerte.
You're speaking to a person that was at the foot of death.
Este es mi segundo libro.
This is the second book.
Puedes ver una lilia aquí,
You can see
una flor
A flower.
de lily.
a lily.
Mi nombre de prostituta.
My name was prostitute.
Mis niños me conocen como Lily, ahora me conocen como Rosa.
My kids know me as Lily. Now they know me as Rosa.
Este colibrí es Carlos Alexander, mi primer hijo sobreviviente,
And this hummingbird is my first child, Alexander,
porque el primero lo extrajeron de mi vientre a los 5 meses de gestación.
because he was born within 5 months
Lo
of
llamé
conception.
Alejandro.
I named him Alejandro.
El segundo es Daniel Hernández Espinosa.
The second is Daniel Hernandez Espinosa.
El tercero es Nathan Jair Hernández.
The third one, repite el nombre.
Nathan Jair Hernández.
Nathan Hernandez.
Este es mi tercer libro, Elixir de Poemas de Rosa.
This is the third book that I have written, Elixir of Poets from Rosa.
Esta es una pintura original de mi hermano José Juan Espinosa.
And this is an original painting of my brother Jose Juan.
Él es pintor.
He is a painter.
Yo soy pintora también.
I am a painter as
Soy
well.
muralista.
I draw
Desde mis
murals
4 años de edad.
since we were 4 years old.
Por alguna razón yo estoy aquí.
For some reason, I am here today.
Es una rosa en el río,
This is a rose in the river,
nadando.
swimming,
Y son mis lágrimas
and these are my tears
que he llorado.
that I have cried.
Usted, señor Christopher, Usted no tiene idea de lo que es sufrir en la calle.
You, City Attorney Chris,
Y yo tengo la
you have no
solución.
idea of what it is
Cada
to live
uno
on the
de
streets.
ustedes se va a vivir 3 meses a la calle
And I have a solution for
para que
you.
después vengan y se
Señora Espinosa.
sienten. ¿Qué es lo que se siente ser homeless? Gracias.
I have a solution for you. If each one of you went out to live in the streets for 3 days or 3 weeks, 3 months, you would know what it feels like to be homeless.
Good afternoon, board members. I'm Diana Blalock, the leader of the hemp crew. And the city of Salinas for the RVs and motorhome and trailer overnight parking, city of Salinas and board members. And in regards of overnight parking for motorhomes and trailers, we would like to express a couple of our concerns on the matter. First of all, when visitors travel from out of town to Salinas, where are they supposed to go? To park overnight. If there's going to be no overnight parking anywhere in the city of Salinas, due to the fact that I have family that is retired and they travel all over the country in their mobile home, they primarily come to Salinas to visit me and stay anywhere from a week to a month. Where are they supposed to gonna be safe and park comfortable during their visit? Without being contacted by police everywhere, every day about parking, what's going to be the difference between local motorhomes, overnight parking, opposed to out-of-town and motorhomes and trailers overnight parking? Thank you for taking the time to hear my concerns on the matter. Could we at least come to some kind of compromise and regarding the issue? Let's meet somewhere in the middle and for all of our sakes. And this is sincerely the hemp crew, Diana, Daisy, and Robbie, and the crew. Thank you.
Hello all, my name is Michael Andrews. I want... Anyways, for the first 33 years of my life, I lived in a normal house. My mom's behind me. I'm the third member of my family to live in that house. My grandfather paid it completely off, the entire mortgage, all the way back in the 50s. Approximately 14 months ago, we were evicted out of the house because it was deemed unsafe. I had to sleep in my roommate Lisa's car for 2 or 3 months. And so I was going to ask her to stand up, but I think she stepped out. All right, 3 months. And right now we're living in an RV until we can get our home fixed and get it back and pay off our property taxes. But we own the home completely free. We don't owe anything except for taxes. But a lot of these people don't have anything to fall back on. We're hoping that we'll either get our home back or sell it. But like Ms. Blalock said, these people have nowhere else to go. When they were talking about people living on the streets too, I remember reading about something the Canadian Central City Council did in the winter of 2013. They actually did stay out overnight on the streets in tents. It's June here in California, and I know none of you are going to do it. Thank you.
Hi, I'm his mother. What I wanted to say is you're talking about the budget and the budget cuts, and you're going to cut police. Why are you focusing on RVs and money? You're going to have to spend more money on getting the police to do RVs. Isn't the homicide more important? To me, I would think the homicide rate should be the priority, not RVs. I mean, I'm just looking at, if you're going to start sending cops out to ticket RVs, aren't there going to be less cops out to patrol the streets of homicides? We're what, the 3rd largest country, or the 3rd largest in California that has a high homicide rate? It doesn't make sense to me. You're talking about income and you're cutting budgets, but yet you want to spend all this money on focusing on RVs. You don't even have a contractor to do it. I'm just asking, how are you going to, have you really thought this through? Because what are you going to do? And then most of the people that are in the RVs are homeless. We're going to be homeless if we're out of the RV. We're going to have to go on the streets, and they're going to have to spend more on homelessness. So I'm just saying, I'm just looking at it logically. Thank you.
Nona Childress, to reiterate a couple of points. Number one, who's going to pay for it, as you've just heard? Number two, are you driving business away from Salinas by not allowing people to have their families come visit them in RVs. I urge you to take, and number 3, there's not a lot of realistic alternatives. Until that is addressed, I urge you to take this back to the drawing board, look at what, there are public safety concerns that do need to be addressed, what is not covered by the current ordinances covering the 72-hour parking and the sewage disposal. Take it back to the drawing board and find a better balance that allows legitimate use without punishing everybody for the abuse of a few.
Hello, council members. Salinas, rich in land, rich in values. You guys need to change that because it used to be rich in values. You guys are schooled from the wrong crowd. I mean, my dad's friends, Panetta, Talcott, Jack Davenport, those guys used to come to the house and I used to hear them guys talk about their town, their city. Those people over there in Seatown and anywhere else, aren't they American citizens too? Aren't they citizens of Salinas? You guys have no compassion. You guys have more compassion over trees than you do your own citizens of Salinas. You know, I mean, you guys are shooting up your own tree. If you guys start doing this to all these motorhomes, you think you got problems now? You're gonna have a ton of problems when these people lose their motorhomes. They're gonna have nowhere to go. They're gonna start fighting over spots. You know, you're gonna have just, you guys need to reevaluate where your head's at, man, with this issue of the motorhomes. I don't think you guys get it.
My name is Elisa Rodriguez. I've been homeless for a while. I used to live in a house, like Michael said. We were living in a car for a couple of months. I got an RV with registration, insurance, and everything. Not too long ago, an officer came up to me, talked to me so rude. I asked him what was his problem. He told me that he didn't want to see me parking at Griffin, and I asked him where. He goes, look it up, that's your problem, not mine. When he talked to me like that, I was in shock. Then he turned around and was trying to force my daughter's RV, forcing it. So I called him by my window and asked him, sir, do you have a problem? Do you have a warrant to try to open my daughter's RV? The only thing he came out of his lips was the F word. So that's the way, method you guys teach your officers to talk to a homeless person like that? I don't think so. I think that was pretty messed up. And also ripping my tags, because I do own a van. I sent my boyfriend in a Monday morning. By Monday afternoon, they went and yanked the tags off. I asked that officer, the Mexican officer in Spanish, can I please have your card? They were trying to, 2 or 3 ladies, they were trying to not to give me his name. And I said, you know what I'm talking about. And I wasn't talking to those ladies, I was talking to the guy. They yanked the tag off. He said that it was stolen, so I went and proved to him that it was not stolen. So everybody's trying to be everything by the book, sir. It's not fun being homeless. I know none of you guys will not make it.
Nosotros perdimos la casa,
We lost our house,
nuestro negocio,
our business,
y solo teníamos 2 opciones.
and we only had 2 options,
Irnos a vivir con personas que no conocíamos,
which was to go live with people that we don't know.
con los últimos $10,000 que nos quedaban de nuestro negocio,
The last $10,000 that we had from our business,
comprar una RV que funcionara
we bought a vehicle that functioned
para vivir con nuestros 4 niños.
for us and our 4 children to live in.
Entonces, ahora, si mi carro tiene placas, tiene aseguranza, ¿cuál es el problema de que vivamos en la calle?
So my question is, if my vehicle is registered, it works, and the registration is current, what's the problem with us living on the street?
No hay muchas opciones.
There aren't very many options for us.
Estuve 5 años esperando la sección 8, no me la daban porque supuestamente el año pasado habíamos hecho mucho dinero con mi esposo.
I have been waiting for over 5 years for Section 8 to process, but they would not accept it because apparently in the last year we made too much money.
Hace 2 semanas me dijeron que como ya habíamos perdido todo, ahora sí ya calificábamos.
About 2 weeks ago, they let us know that now that we have lost everything, we now qualify for Section 8.
Pero donde quiera que hemos hablado, dicen que son demasiados niños.
But wherever we have talked to, they always tell us it's too many children.
Entonces, ¿qué hacemos?
So then what do we do?
No nos queda otra más que vivir en un RV mientras encontramos a alguien que nos quiera rentar un departamento o una casa.
So we essentially have no options other than to live in an RV, at least until we can find someone that will rent us a home, a room, or an apartment. Thank you.
Hello, Councilman. My name is Dolores Lopez, and I've been in the RV for 2 years. And it's very hard. I can't find a place for me and my son. My husband is disabled. I am disabled. We've tried, and on Section 8, I'm on the waiting list, and it's been 2.5 years that I've been waiting still for a place. I called all the agencies, and there's nothing. So we live in a motorhome with my pets, and if that's taken away and we have nowhere to park, I know it's not your problem, but maybe there's another way or a solution that we could do, because we're very obedient. We don't do no sewage out or anything like that, or you won't leave no garbage. We're very clean. I understand that there is other ones that do that, but we don't. We comply, we move every 72 hours, and all I know is that if this happens, we won't have nowhere to go. We'll be in the street.
I come here today basically to talk about what we have to further address about the whole RVs parking in the street and whatnot. I understand as long as it comes forward, the whole safety violations, the whole drainage, the black waters being on the street, the garbage, I understand, and I completely come and how can I say this? I understand where you guys are coming from. I understand why you guys want to go ahead and ban the RVs. I know there's a lot of trash. I know there's a lot of disruption. I know there's a lot of noise due to the generators. A lot of people don't have generators that do not make noise. I understand where you guys are coming from, but the thing is that maybe there's some way that we can probably make this work out with some RVs. I understand that some RVs are very destructive. I understand that they do leave trash, but there's others that don't. And so as long as it comes down to banning other RVs, it's just like we could do something better than just ban them. We could make them, I don't know, just follow the rules possibly. We go ahead and have each one inspect the drainage, make sure that they all work, make sure that they all run, make sure that there's water running, make sure that they go ahead and they give receipts every time you go ahead and dump the drainage. Go ahead and look at receipts. I know it's probably a waste of your guys' time because you guys are just like, oh, let's ban the RVs, so just see as that. But I mean, we could just go ahead and work somewhere in the middle. I mean, we could make something work. I don't know what you guys are planning on doing. I don't know if this is your guys' only solution. But as far as it comes into leaving us without a home, I mean, we could work somewhere. We can compromise on what we could do about the whole cleaning situation or whatever it is that is bothering you guys. I don't know if it's because some RVs don't move in the 72 hours. I don't know what the problem exactly is, but I mean, whatever it is, we could probably go ahead and make a solution out of it as well. That's all I got to say.
My name is Ron Vasquez. I've been living here about 56 years. I recently became homeless and got an RV. And my thinking is this: why could you guys find us a place, maybe an acre somewhere, that we can put our RVs at and do something like that? I know we're an eyesore sometimes, but what else can we do? We can't go anywhere else. That's just my recommendation. Thank you.
Hello, West Wise, Salinas resident, president of Salinas Homeless Union. Also Lapis Road RV Homeowners Association, which you also voted to help make sure that went away, and then it became your problem too, the TAMSI thing. I'm just going to read you this flyer that I made. It says, "Fight for your rights. Shelter is a human right." Today's here at the council meeting. The city wants to ban RVs from the city limits due to attractiveness, and that is in the report. This is another assault on Poorism. Money being wasted to pick on people too poor to follow the rules, especially the harder you make them. Speak out against the atrocities against poor people committed by the competing local jurisdictions, because it's not just you. You're getting this idea from Marina, all the other coastal peninsula cities, and the county. Well, they did bad. Why? What do you mean? We can't be doing bad, right? It's just as dirty. Salinas and Monterey County's oppression of the poor begins by stealing their possessions in an attempt to run them out of town while making money and exuding power only for some during the whole experience. So I also made a Facebook post to the county. I put a couple out, got no response from any of them either. I hope the county will officially and unofficially help stop the city of Salinas from approving the RV ban this Tuesday, considering they helped create the problem. The only problem is that we call it a problem. These are people. We can think. We can communicate. We can help each other if we want to. We can develop better and best practices when we care about each other. But if we don't care, then why not just make money off of other people's suffering? Quick, there are contracts to be signed to help the homeless get away from us. Why spend $2 million to push the shelter 5 miles away, if not for Poorism, a near relative of racism? What about people's civil rights? Is this what public service is all about? I need at least one of you to vote no on this tonight. And if you don't, and it means you think of people as garbage. And if you think people are garbage, you are garbage.